Okay, so a couple of people commented on the previous video that they want an in-depth explanation of the ShowOnly tag, so here I go. So what I have here right now is the test script with two values. One, the top one, the displayed value, which is supposed to be editable, and the bottom one, which is not supposed to be editable, it should be ShowOnly. You need to create two scripts. The first one, in your scripts folder, it should be named ShowOnly attribute. Now that you have your script open in Visual Studio or your preferred IDE, what you need to do is basically scrap everything that's given from the start, and you don't need the script to be the mono behavior, you need to be the property attribute. This script basically allows the attribute to be even called. I will explain on it later in the second script. Now go back to your Unity editor, allow the script to recompile, and go into your editor folder. You need to create your second script inside of there, and it should be named ShowOnly drawer. Now when you open that script tab in your IDE, you basically need to remove the void update, void start and all the comments, and make this script not mono behavior but the type of property drawer. Which, this is a script where all of the code for the property drawer, which is, well, the ShowOnly tag, will be placed in. The next thing you need to do is specify what type of the property drawer it is, which is going to be our ShowOnly attribute. Ignore IntelliJ here, it's ShowOnly attribute. Now that we have everything set up, we can finally start to get into coding. First thing we need to do is create a public override void, which will basically override the selected action, which in this case will be the onGUI, which is the action that happens when we open any GUI. The variables we give to the onGUI override are the position, which is the position of the GUI, which is the property itself, and the property itself will, in this case, will be just used to determine if it's a boolean or integer or string or whatever. And label is the text that we will be showing, which is, well, true, false, in this case, since that value was a boolean. What I didn't realize here that I typed onGUI wrong, it should be onG and then all caps UI as well, which I will realize later in the video, but I just didn't want to re-record the entire part, so yeah. What we need to do in the override void to add switch for the prop.property type. That will give us all the different types of properties, which is, for example, integer, boolean, string, vector2, and all of that. We also need the string value string, which we will assign later to the display value, which is the label. Now, we need to get the case, for example, serialized property type dot boolean, and what we need to do is assign our value string, which is going to be prop.bool value dot toString, because true or false is not a string, but we can make it string by adding the toString. I'm going to cut here and add all of the other types of properties. You can take a deeper look into it, but they're really simple and you should understand them if you have any basic knowledge of C#. Now that we have all of our default cases, which is the integer, boolean, float, string, vector2 and vector3, we should also add the case default. Value string equals not supported. That will return if any of our property types do not match the integer, boolean, float, string, vector2 or vector3, and then we just return not supported, so we know that it's not supported by the script and we need to just edit it in, and yeah. Now what we need to do is our editor GUI.label field, which is, well, the label that we will edit, which is at position, and it's the label.text, which is, in this case, the ShowOnly value, which is the name of the variable, label.text, and value.string, which is basically the new value that we assign to it, which is displayed on the right, which in this case will be true or false, since this is a boolean variable. Now we can go back to our test script, which has the ShowOnly variable and the display value, and we can add the ShowOnly tag, which is even auto-added by our IDE, and now after recompilation we can see that the value is not editable. And the cool part is that you can turn your inspector into debug mode to still edit this variable, and then turn it back and it's still uneditable, but the value is changed. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Wish is my game on Steam. It's shown on the screen right now. It's a work in progress, but it's getting better every day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Link to the game is down in the description below. Yep, have a nice one. By the way, there's a huge sale going on in the Unity asset store right now where some assets are up to 50% off. You can also use the code JUM10 to save 10% on all orders $50 or above. If you're planning on buying anything, please use my link from down in the description below to support me. It takes no time and it helps me out a ton.